that we want to know, what do we want to know? What percentage of, so here we have data, right? A data of like a, quite an old data from South regarding the decision on death penalty, okay, for the defendants who were convicted of murder, okay. And what we are interested in knowing is that what is the percentage of white defendants who were convicted with death penalty, right? Everybody clear? Okay. So let's see. Let me just move it down here. Okay. So these are the defendants. Okay. So how many total got death penalty here? 19, right? Everybody clear? How many did not get it? 132 plus 9, right? See? Everybody clear? Because see 9 here. Look here. These are the white defendants, right? Here, if their victim was white, 19 of them got death penalty, all right. And if the victim was black, none of them got death penalty, right? In this case. Okay, everybody clear? So, okay, so we have to see, when we are looking at the data, we have to try to see everything, right? Okay, so then what happens here? 141 did not get the death penalty, right? Everybody fine so far? Okay. So this total is how much? 140, or rather, since we 19. One sec, please. I have to make more space on our board. Okay. So what do you see? 19 out of how many total? 19 plus 141, that is 160 white defendants, okay, who were already convicted, okay, received death penalty, right? So for percentage, what we have to do? 19 divided by 160 times what? 100. And how much that comes out to be? 11 point how much? Say that once again. 8. So we can say 11.9% approximately, right? Everybody fine on this? Okay. So we got that, right? Now let's look at the same thing here. For the black defendants, how many got death penalty? Let me just, 17 got it. And how many did not get it? 149. Is my addition correct here? Yes or no? I correct? Yeah, I added it right? Okay, good. Thank you. So what we have is then that we got for black defendants 17 out of 17 plus 149, that is how much is that? Somebody help me. 166. Okay, all right. So they got death penalty, right? So percentage would be what? 17 divided by how much? 166 times 100, right? That means what is the percentage? Louder. 10.2%, right? Everybody fine? Okay. So if we look at these two variables, like race of the defendant versus the rate of the conviction with death penalty, white defendants have a higher rate of conviction with death penalty according to this data, right? Everybody clear? Okay. All right. Now this is just like we are doing only an academic discussion. We are not, changing it into like a news. We are only talking about numbers. All right, and rest of the interpretations will be later. So everybody clear so far, right? On the calculations. All right. Now let's answer a different question. So you saw that, right? Let me erase this here. Okay. Now let's look at the same data in a different way. Okay. If you look at the race of the victim, all right, and then the percentage of conviction with death penalty, all right. So if I am in this row here, see this here, then what kind of defendants are we talking about? The white defendants, right? And the victims here are what? The white victims, right? So in here, if I want to compute the percentage, then that is what? 19 total, right? And add these two numbers, what do you get? 151, right? Am I clear? Okay. Multiply that by 100. Actually, I'm not going to multiply that by 100 because when we compute the percentage, we do multiply by 100. Tell me what percentage are you getting? Yeah, 19 divided by 51. Louder. 2 point. Yeah, let's make it 7. Right? Everybody fine? Did everybody get the same number? Because, okay, so I think so. I'll fix it. Okay.
So why is it on 151?
151 because there were total how many victims of these defendants? 19 plus 132 is how much more?
No, I know 151. I thought you were at the bottom.
No, bottom. Okay. With, let me just say death penalty. All right. So does everybody agree? Is this correct or not? Is 12.6 you? Okay, we'll change it to 12.6 then. What was that? Somebody gave me 12 point how much percent? What percentage? Okay. Oh, I heard 68. That's why I made that mistake. Okay. Now here nobody has to do anything. It's 0%, right? Everybody fine? Okay. Now let's look at this here. So here we are going to look at the percentage of death, percentage rather with death penalty. Come on. Okay. So that is how much? 11 divided by what? Louder. 63, right? And what does it become as a percentage? 17 point how much? 17.5%, right? Everybody good? Okay. And let me move this to the left a little because it's going out of margin a little bit, right? Okay. Everybody good? And what do we get here? 6 divided by how many? 3. So that will be 5 point how much? 8%, right? So what do you see? You saw that earlier we saw that more convicted, okay, defendants, for murder of white race were getting death penalty, like they were getting it with higher rate, in other words, as compared to the black defendants, right? Now, when we do this, when we break the data down according to the race of the victim in each category, okay, which defendants are getting death penalty with higher rate, black or white? Black, right? So what happened? The trend reversed, right? Didn't it? Everybody clear here? So when you have this kind of reversal, okay, or change, it's called a paradox, and in our discussion you will often hear this as what? Simpson's paradox. Just read it over. It's very interesting how these came up, and such issues like they come up. They are used in legal arguments sometimes, like you know of course in the criminal cases as well as in discrimination in employment decisions, etc., etc. Okay, all right. And we can see this here, that why does that say, let's look at a plausible explanation that why is this going on, right? Everybody fine? So let's go completely with the one second. I do first I have to save it. Let me just save it real quick for you. So let's make let's look at this with another angle. All right, so how many victims were, what is the total number of white victims? Total number of white victims. Okay, what is the, no, more than that, come on. 132 plus 11, oops, plus 11 plus 52. All right. Of course, I'm just put total number of white victims, regardless of the defendant who was associated with the crime. All right. Okay. So how, what does this add up to? Somebody, anybody, quick, louder. 214, right? Okay. Now, number of defendants, okay, all right, involved with white victims, okay, with death penalty. How many did get death penalty in here? 19 plus what? 11, that is 30. So when the victim is white, when the victim is white, percentage of conviction, sorry, with the death penalty is what? 30 divided by 214 times 100. Tell me as a percentage. Louder. 14% approximately, right? Everybody fine? Now, let's just examine the same question for, in terms of the black victims, right? Okay, one moment. Okay. So here it changes to what? 0 plus 9 plus 6 plus 97, and that is going to be 103. Am I right or wrong? How much? 112. I know, I don't know how. 112, yes. Okay, I apologize for this phone. Just please forgive me. Okay, all right, here. Now, so number with total number of, this is black victims, right? And now with, let's go again, what for black victims with, so how many got death penalty? How many defendants got death penalty in this case? 6 of them. So when the victim is black, okay, then the rate changes to what? 6 over how much? 112, and that's how, what does it become as a percentage? 5.4, or let's just make it. Okay. So what happens here? You can see that in this case, the rate of conviction with the death penalty is much higher when the victim is white as compared to when the victim is black, right? Everybody fine? And the reason we saw reversal is that for black defendants, most of the victims were black, right? Everybody clear? Okay. So we saw Simpson's paradox, and we saw that how when we have two qualitative variables, all right, okay, how do we discuss these? And we did that with this simple arithmetic, okay. And of course the arithmetic is very simple, but later on when we have to make inferential calculations with these, all right, then more will be involved, okay. Everybody clear?